All right, guys, I know things look different, but we're all stuck at home, binging cartoons in our gym jams, and I still want to talk to you guys about them. I'm incredibly codependent. I need an audience. So I've started running out of things, and whenever I need a new rec, I always turn to trusty producer Brett. But I was skeptical when he said I should look into Ozzy and Drix, the Osmosis Jones TV show. For why? For why was that even made? That movie flopped big time. But I gotta say, once I gave this a look, this is truly an uncovered gem. What's up, guys? I'm Kris Carr, and today I want to talk to you about how the TV show Ozzy and Drix was completely underrated. Before we interspace our way into this series, I want to give a big ol' shout out to our supporters on Patreon, especially our super nerd sponsor of the day, Lauren Linton. Thanks to these heroes, we get to keep watching cartoons and talking with y'all about them. Social interaction is like our yellow sun, so thanks for hanging out with us and helping our channel stay afloat. If you want to pitch in, then head on over to our Patreon page and see if a donation tier works for you. We'll thank you with shoutouts, patches, and behind-the-scenes looks. If you're looking to spend money on yourself, then click that link in the description to TeePublic. They have shirts to rep pretty much all fandoms. All right, on to Ozzy and Drix. First, a little refresher on the film. To be totally honest with you guys, I had passed on this one back in the day too. I remember just thinking it looked gross as a kid. And if you watch this channel, you know that adult Kris is not particularly dainty or ladylike. Do I miss some of the shocking gore and violence? You bet your sweet puppy I do. Double your viewing pleasure, double your gore. This is why I want us to kill a host every month. There was just something nasty about Bill Murray's Frank, which was totally the point. This slob lived by the 5-second rule and had a love of hard-boiled eggs that would make anyone want to yak. One of those turns out to be a truly bad egg harboring the deadly virus known as Thrax. Ozzy, Osmosis Jones, a white blood cell, a cop in Frank's body, who follows his gut more than orders, ends up working with a cold suppressant pill that Frank takes. Drix and all cold relief, aka Drix. It's classic buddy cop coupling. Ozzy is the loose cannon, Drix is the uptight and by-the-book one.
Diagnostic skills are remedial at best.
You the little cherry Aspen who iced a key witness to a viral
That was
attack.
an accident.
Yeah, the kind of accident only a time-released dipstick like yourself.
The virus Thrax is a serial killer who hopes to set a new record by killing Frank in 48 hours. Thrax is an amazing villain. Hands down, best part of the film. Lawrence Fishburne kills this VO. He is truly terrifying, he's smooth, and apparently a lot of the internet is very thirsty for Big Daddy Thrax. Y'all nasty. Things look bleak for hospitalized Frank, but Drix and Ozzy take down Thrax in the nick of time, and Frank vows to get healthier for the sake of his daughter. Like I said, this film did not do well. In fact, Warner Brothers feature animation was already in the red prior to Osmosis Jones. They were deciding between greenlighting 2 projects, and ultimately chose Jones. What did they turn down? A little project by Brad Bird called The Incredibles. When Osmosis Jones bombed at the box office and was panned by critics, the movie about a deadly virus effectively killed the WB feature animation branch. Yet we still got this spin-off series, and one that I personally believe surpasses its original film. The show picks back up with Ozzy and Drix living in a still disgusting Frank. Kinda disappointing. Dude, I know you don't just get healthy overnight, but your kid watched you go into cardiac arrest. Can you just eat a vegetable and shower sometimes? I don't know. Unlike the movie, we're going all 2D animation all the time in the series, and we kick things off by Ozzy and Drix ending up in a new body, teenage boy Hector, while they're pursuing scarlet fever. See, a mosquito happens to bite Frank, sucking up the virus and our heroes, and then biting Hector, transferring them to his body. So, bye Frank! Stop eating eggs! Drix and Ozzy decide to become private eyes in the city of Hector, strategically placed behind the cornea. Just as they did with Frank, Ozzy and Drix keep a lookout for foreign threats and protect Hector from bodily harm. They even teach him some dance moves. We're given new voices, and of course, VO legend Phil Lamar does a solid Chris Rock impression.
Osmosis Jones. I'm a cop. That's my partner Drix. He's a pill, but he's cool.
This is a show where I think the sound-alikes really deliver and make these characters shine. Like the film, Ozzy is still a maverick playing by his own rules, and Drix is incredibly knowledgeable, yet clueless about so much stuff. And we see Drix is a pretty pure soul. He loves comics, he gets excited about games, he's a sweet little pill. These additions to Drix's personality really work well for me. Like the film, we still have an unfit mayor running the body. Only this time it's a whiny teen, Paul Spryman. Makes sense since we're in a teen city. The supporting cast includes Hector's crush Christine, which I thought was a cute addition to the show, helping explain relationships and crushes and puberty. Plus she has my name, so obviously I'm pro Christine. On the inside of things, we have badass cop Maria Amino, Chief of Police Chief Gluteus, and a cast of germs and diseases our heroes go up against like strep finger. Ugh, God, what a gross name. It's part of a James Bond-themed episode, but man, ugh. The episodes use basic medical language and explain bodily functions in a very clever, accessible way. Like when we go on a trip to the spleen, which is depicted as a vacuum that sucks up pathogens. This is an awesome way to show how the spleen is a filter that can recycle old blood cells and fight against bacteria. Or how there's a little cellular dog germ named Dander in the episode that explains pet allergies. It's cute and it's fun, but it gives you a sort of Bio 101 breakdown. It's edutainment done well. Let's focus on a few standout episodes. There's the puberty-centric episode, Puberty Alert, where Hector's going through that magical time of life where your hormones become terrorists. With his first chin hair sighting, hormones begin rioting inside Hector. Also, apparently Hector's dream facial hair is a goatee, which is just, it's so depressing. But back to the hormones. They are crude, rude, and out of control. They're like if Ed Hardy teas could be broken down to a cellular level. They chant, "Power to the pelvis!" which is what I assume is the name of at least 3 incel groups online. Jokes aside, this episode does a pretty stellar job of showing how hormones can affect your thinking and your ability to rationalize. When one of the hormones, Shane, befriends the mayor, he starts encouraging them to make cooler choices and follow their impulses blindly. By getting some help from estrogen, a hormone that can balance out the testosterone, Ozzy and Drix are able to pump the brakes on Hector's out-of-control actions and attitude. Ozzy and Drix also managed to pull off a very special episode. The episode Where There's Smoke depicts the consequences of smoking. When Hector takes a puff from a 9th grader's cigarette in an effort to be cool, the chemicals that exist in cigarettes enter Hector's body. Nicotine and his goons' tar, butane, and carbon monoxide cause chaos in Hector City. And we see how these chemicals affect Hector's mood as well as his well-being. Not to mention how exactly people can get addicted to cigarettes despite them tasting so gross. With Tim Curry providing Nicotine's voice and giving us strong Hexus vibes in a musical number that shows addiction taking over Hector's cell, this is honestly some of the most effective anti-smoking media I've ever seen. It's downright creepy. If there's a bit of a clunker in there, it's the 2-parter Out-of-Body Experience. Now this is one that seemed to stick with a lot of people, and again, I'd never seen them. So this episode begins with Hector climbing up to the high dive in order to impress Christine, a suggestion from his best friend Travis. Hector ends up falling into the pool and almost drowning. Christine quickly administers mouth-to-mouth, just when Ozzy happens to be dealing with a perp in Hector's maw. So Ozzy takes the spit train to Christine Town, which is where having the same name got weird for me.
I'm really inside Christine.
While in the city of Christine, Osmosis stumbles upon a shady deal between Christine's chief of police and a new maniac virus. The chief wants chaos in this chick city because he's a male cell, dang it, and he wants to do manly stuff. Due to Ozzy being in this female body, he also keeps having bouts of femininity, which in 2020 definitely feels dated and downright sexist. The whole gender morphi thing is problematic. But if we get out of this B-plot and focus on Ozzy in a new environment and the awesome lady cop Tyson he ends up working with, it's a fun romp still. Officer Tyson is the only cell in Christine who doesn't like Ozzy. Every other cell in Christine is obsessed with Hector because of Christine's crush on him, which, sure, okay. But when we get these two clashing with one another, it's a really fun dynamic. Plus, it's another episode that shows how Ozzy really cares for Hector and wants to help keep him healthy. And of course, live with his bud back home. Side quest. Hector's friend Travis is the worst. First he tells Hector to do the dumb high dive to impress a girl. Then he gives Hector grief for being scared of the water? Kids are idiots. It happened yesterday, Travis. Your friend had a brush with death yesterday. So all those dated gender jokes aside, I still maintain that this show did an awesome job of talking about the human body and health. Frankly, this may have just been too clever a show amidst the so random humor of the early aughts. Sure, there are some cringy moments, and that theme song is pretty awful. But all in all, this is a solid show with some really smart writing. It has everything a WB show should have. Gross out humor, fun characters, and jokes that you get when you're older, all wrapped up in a creative and educational concept. This is one that I definitely think deserved more love and more airtime. Of course, guys, this is just how I felt rewatching the show. Do you even remember Ozzy and Drix? And if so, what did you love or loathe about it? Let me know in the comments down below. And you guys, I know things are a little scary right now. We did this to try to hopefully make you laugh, to make you feel a little less anxious. And if you are feeling anxious, that is completely and utterly okay and understandable. So if you feel like you need to talk about what's going on in the world, do that in the comments too. Hopefully we're all going to get through this together by being kind, considerate, and compassionate. So hang in there and let us know if there's anything we can do to help keep you guys entertained during this really troubling time. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks to everyone who's a donor on Patreon, to everyone who's buying stuff from TeePublic, and of course to you guys. I'll see you next time. See you, Space Cowboy.